Here we want to evaluate the indefinite integral. And the integral is the sine of the square root of x divided by the square root of x times dx. In this particular problem, what we're going to do is we're going to let the u substitution, u is going to equal the square root of x. Now this is the same thing as saying u is equal to x to the power of 1/2. Okay, so now let's take the derivative of both sides. So the derivative of the left side is du. The derivative of the right side is going to be 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1. So remember that you're subtracting 1 up here. So subtracting 1 is minus 2 over 2, which then gives you negative 1/2 dx. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to rewrite this as a positive exponent. So this becomes du, which is equal to 1/2 times 1 over x to the positive 1/2 power dx. Okay, now remember, x to the 1/2 is the same thing as the square root of x. So du is going to equal 1 times 1, which is in the numerator, over 2 times the square root of x dx. Okay, so that's how you're taking a derivative. So the derivative of the square root of x is going to be 1 over 2 times the square root of x. Now if you look over here, we have a 1 in the numerator, right? And we're dividing it by the square root of x. We don't have a 2 in front of there, and then dx. So we need to get rid of this 2 and bring it to the other side. So in order to do that, to bring it to the other side, we have to multiply both sides by 2. So therefore, we have 2 du is going to equal 1 over the square root of x dx. And then we're going to use that as a substitution when we simplify. So let's go to step 4 and let's rewrite the original problem. So rewriting the original problem, you can see that we have the sine of the square root of x times 1 over the square root of x dx. So if I multiply these two out, this is what it would be. And this allows me to then see the substitution. So let's go ahead and substitute. So we have the integral, the sine of, well, the square root of x, we said it was equal to u. So that's the sine of u times, well, 1 over the square root of x dx is equal to 2 du. So that's times 2 du. Now we're going to go ahead and factor out the constant, which is 2. And then we're going to integrate the sine of u du. Okay. Now the next step is, what is the antiderivative of the sine of u? Well, the antiderivative of the sine of u is negative cosine of u. So that's 2 times the negative cosine of u and then plus c. Now we're going to factor out the negative sign. So we have negative 2 times the cosine of u plus c. And now, what did we call u at the beginning of the substitution? Well, u is equal to the square root of x. So therefore, the answer is going to be the following. Negative 2 times the cosine of the square root of x plus c. And there is your result.